Watching news today, and more importantly, just observing social media, there is a lot of fear. There's a lot of panic. There is borderline terror going on right now throughout the world, mostly based on what's going on in the Middle East. Domestically in the United States, there's a lot of concern that President Trump is fixing to start World War III, specifically by getting directly involved into the conflict. And by directly involved, I mean the U.S. actually making direct strikes against Iran. So before this entire story spins out of control completely, I want to remind the listeners of one thing. Donald Trump practices brinksmanship. In other words, one of President Trump's MOs is to take a situation to the furthest extent possible, right up to a breaking point, and then make some sort of deal. In other words, the president likes to ratchet up tensions to the highest possible amount only at the last second to ease off and cut some sort of deal, make some sort of agreement. And this is very much classical business practice, because in business, you always want the most amount of leverage possible in any given situation. And when you have that leverage, you have control. And that control allows you to make deals that are favorable to you or your company. And if you've ever been on the receiving end of a phone call from a debt collector, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because in that situation, if you have accrued some sort of debt and that debt has been sold or leased to a debt collector, that debt collector has a tremendous amount of leverage over you. Because at the very least, they can negatively impact your credit score. Sometimes they can even take you to court. That is leverage. That is control over a given situation. This is what President Trump is aiming to do with Iran and Israel. He wants to assert maximum control through the proxy of Israel and get Iran to the point where they feel compelled to make a deal. And the way he does that is through brinksmanship, is through the pursuit of maximum leverage. That maximum leverage includes threatening to bring the U.S. directly into the conflict or insinuating the same. Hence all the aggressive rhetoric, hence all of the insults to the people who have supported him up to this point, such as Tucker Carlson. All of this is theater. All of this is gamemanship. All of this is part of the art of the deal. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean things are going to get better anytime soon. Realistically, that means actually things are going to get worse before they get better. Because at this point, neither side, neither Israel nor Iran, want to blink. Neither side wants to be seen as the one who wants to back off and lose face. So that means things are going to ratchet up even more in the coming days, up to and including closing down the Straits of Hormuz. So no, I don't think World War III is starting right now. It's a bit early. We're just not there yet. What we're seeing, though, is an example of brinksmanship, of purposely trying to get things as close to the edge as possible without going over, and then using that stance as a place of leverage for future negotiations. So that's where things stand right now. I'm not terribly worried about World War III, although I do feel terrible for the folks in Gaza, the folks in Iran, and yes, the folks in Israel too, because a lot of innocent people are getting destroyed right now. Unfortunately, that is the way the world works at the current moment. That's the way the world's political systems are set up. And sadly enough, and so many oftentimes in this world, it's the innocent people who suffer. And unfortunately, there's going to be a lot more innocent people suffering in the coming days and or weeks. But what I do see happening, though, is some sort of agreement will be hammered out between Iran and Israel, most likely facilitated between President Trump and President Putin of Russia. And this agreement will certainly ease tensions in the Middle East, at least for a while. Now, if you like this analysis and you're interested in the other works I do, please consider supporting me through a donation on PayPal. There is no such thing as too small of a donation because any bit, any kind of donation helps me continue to do what I do on this channel, namely to tell you the clear, unvarnished, and unfiltered truth. So if you're so inclined, feel free to donate through my PayPal account. I put it in the description box below. This is Kevin saying God bless you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.